Aloha. It was nice seeing you today. These are the lesson plans that I do that I have a pretty good success rate on trying to get people a little bit mobile around the fretboard. What happens is the spider exercises, do, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not supposed to be too extremely hard. They're supposed to just give the idea that our fingers are going to stay on the first 4 frets. And then when we go to the 5th fret, we do the same thing. 5, 6, 7, 8 are played with these 4 fingers, and then 9, 10, 11, 12 are played with these. Every step from my 1st fret to my 12th fret is considered a minor second. When I add those minor seconds together, they become 12 notes. Those 12 notes are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, broken down into whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Those are correlated this way. When you do the spider exercises, your fingers will go on these 4 frets. Well, when playing scales, your fingers should correlate to those 4 frets where it feels comfortable. Just so happens that the 4 frets that your fingers are used to playing keep us from jumping to different frets with different fingers, which we're not supposed to. Hypothetically, you can do whatever you want on the ukulele, but for ease, it does make more sense to do our half steps with the fingers that are right next to each other. So the spider steps just influence our fingers to stay close to the fretboard, not to come directly way off the top of here, to stay within order, not play on the fretting, and to play in the middle, and to use our pointer finger rather than using our thumb the whole time. We'll get back to the thumb and finger style, but the first finger needs to become super strong. So when you go through all of these, once you get through the first 4 frets, the next idea is to go up to the 5th fret with your first finger. So whoop, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. That goes up to the 9th fret. Thusly gives us all the possible variations within our pentatonic range. What we do here from lesson 1 is just the morning warm-up. We do that for 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops. That gets all the fingies all warmed up for our actual lesson. The actual lesson is moving in between these chords. The chords we learned together are the A major, the F major, and the G major. What we're correlating with is each major has a minor by flattening the 3rd. All chords are made of tones. All tones have 3 tones. Those 3 tones are the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. In the key of C, we have a C, E, and G because we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Doesn't really matter what the names of them are, but we've got 1, 3, 5. When I flatten that 3rd scale degree, no matter what key I'm in, it becomes a minor. If I was playing A major, which is a C sharp on the thickest string, the C string, A on the highest string, the G string, and then open E and an open A for my unison note. When I play an A major and I remove the C sharp, I turn my A C sharp E into an A C E, thusly giving me a minor, not a major. One has a melancholy sound, one has a major happy sound. What I was trying to influence through the G major is that this G doesn't move, just these fingers. When I take this G away and put it here and then replace that with this pinky, that shape now can be moved up and down the fretboard without having any awkwardness. The awkwardness of not having your G major and G major being played with this open G is whenever you move it to anywhere other than your G minor or G major position, let's say a G sharp minor, you can't play that open high G because you get dissonance. So when you play this chord this way in your secondary fingering and scoot it up, you now have an open finger to bar that chord, which was the dissonance. So on and so forth. All the shapes that I'm showing you, all of them can be scooted up. So if you know how to play an F major, F, A, gives us the F, A, C, E, we're doubling up on our C's. Doubling up on our A's. That F, when played in our second fingering position by taking our first finger off, putting our second finger where our first finger was, and then laying our second finger on here, turns the F major into the same chord, different fingerings. But when you scoot an F up and bar, that F major becomes an F sharp, then a G, then a G sharp, then an A. Regardless if you know what the names of these chords are, when you play them, if you scoot a C major to a C sharp and you play the open notes, it gets the dissonance. But But since C major had 3 open strings, if you bar the first 3 and then add that 4th note, it becomes a chord. That's just how it is. So if a C major goes to a C sharp and a D and you don't want to know that the name of it is C, C sharp, D, you don't have to know that. But please know this, that chord, when it moves up, has to correlate. And what I was trying to explain is you only have so many shapes, majors and minors. When you put majors and minors together and you correlate them, sorry, I can't, what a horrible little instrument, I can't get my fingers to go up there. But when I do a major, C major, I go to a minor, D minor, then a E minor to an F major, a G major to an A minor, B diminished to a C. The correlation is, the next step we would have gotten to is once you play any chord, let's say it's your A major, and you know how to play an A minor from it, you could add your sus chords. The sus that I had right there was a major sus 4, because I included the D. In the key of A, D is 4 notes away from it. You don't have to know that, but knowing how to hold a note over the top, helps moving melodies. Melodies are derived out of tones that are played in a specific order. So what happens is, I was trying to get to the point of using our rhythm exercises like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, which are whole notes, and our half note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, just to be versatile, switching back and forth with the same chords, different fingerings. So when you do scoot it up, you can not only play in rhythm, which is reinforced by just subconsciously doing it through all these mechanisms, but you also have the fingerings to be able to understand that a G major can be a G major in a secondary position, scoot up to an A flat, and barred to give you the chord that you're looking for. If you don't need that, great. There are the original 7 chords, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, diminished, C. And if you don't want to play them in the order of major, minor, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major, then all of the chords themselves are still special. C major, C minor, D major, D minor, E major, E minor, F major, F minor, G major, G minor, A major, A minor, B major, B minor. From there, we have different chords like our C major 7, and C dominant 7. This is a C major. This is the C note in a C. When I move the C down to its 7th, which in this case would be a B, it gives me a major tone. In the key of G, when I move the G to an F sharp, which is a half step down, it gives me a major 7. In the key of A, when I move down to A flat, it gives me an A major 7. Same in every chorus. When I take that same C and go down a half step and then a whole step, it gives me a dominant 7. Same thing in G. So when I go from G to G major to this, the G dominant 7, sure, it's a G dominant 7 or a G7, but when used together in correlation with C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, it's a B, not a G7. So we name chords different names. If you don't want to know the names of the chords, doesn't matter. All the shapes are just going to be the shapes that are consistently moved around the fretboard. Long story short, the spider exercises enforce muscle memory. Shifting of the chords to different fingerings helps for motor skills and chord memorization along the fretboard, because when you move that major G up to the 7th fret and it becomes a C, the chord structure still is the same. You need to know to have that pinky down here to cover that alternate C, or else you're not going to have the octave being covered. Okie doke. Other than that, your circle of fifths deals with going 5 notes from where you are to determine what has sharps or flats. The rule of thumb is the rule of thumb. C, D, E, F, G. G has 1 sharp, it's F sharp. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. When I go G, A, B, C, D, I now know that D has 2 sharps. One of them's F sharp, the next one's C sharp. That process keeps going on over and over by going around the circle and fifths to know what your next key is and what the next sharp is. If you have a question about that, put it in the comment section. I can help you notate on why B has 5 sharps and how come it sounds like B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp make a B major scale. Anywho, I enjoyed seeing you. I hope this helps in a little bit. Those spider exercises are going to make it a little faster, and regardless of what happens with the way that you learn chords, you're doing fine. I really enjoyed seeing you today. Hopefully I'll see you again. If you're in the neighborhood, stop by and say hi. Don't be a stranger. Aloha.